Michelle
Wow.
Yeoh, welcome back to the show. Yeah, we all love you. Come on. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate this. You look great. I wanted
If
to
you
show
were
this.
watching Jimmy Fallon the night Michelle Yeoh stopped by, you probably didn't expect the Oscar-winning icon to casually start teaching him how to command storms, like she was about to summon a cyclone in the studio. But that moment, funny, chaotic, and completely unexpected, ended up revealing far more about Wicked for good than anyone realized. Because behind the laughter, Yeoh was hinting at a level of power, mystery, and behind-the-scenes preparation that fans had only speculated about. And what happened next would spark a wave of rumors about her character, Madame Morrible, and the massive shift coming in the sequel. Michelle Yeoh didn't just show Jimmy a random gesture. What she demonstrated was eerily similar to the movement pattern Morrible uses in the film to bend weather to her will. With a calm smile, she lifted her arm, shaped her hand, and explained the control behind Morrible's signature technique as if she was teaching a martial arts form instead of magical stormcraft. Fallon, of course, hammed it up, but viewers watching closely could see it. This wasn't improvisation. This was something she learned, practiced, and perfected for a role that demanded precision. It was a tiny glimpse into how deeply she committed to a character wrapped in secrets and hidden power. And as fans dissected that moment, another question arose immediately. Why was Yeoh so careful with her words? She grinned, joked, and dodged certain questions, especially when the conversation moved toward the sequel surprises. It almost felt like she knew she had already revealed more than she was supposed to. That moment on Fallon became the spark that sent people searching for answers. And the truth, or at least what could be pieced together, paints a much more intriguing picture than anyone expected. To understand why that tiny display mattered, you have to understand who Madame Morrible really is. On the surface, she's the refined, authoritative headmistress of Shiz University, the mentor figure who guides promising students into their futures. But underneath the polished exterior lies one of the most enigmatic forces in all of Oz. In the Wicked world, Morrible is the quiet architect of chaos. She manipulates storms, influences political structures, and bends narratives to shape the future of the land. Her magic isn't flashy. It's subtle, deliberate, and frighteningly powerful. And according to longtime fans, that's exactly the type of energy Michelle Yeoh brings to the role. The sequel digs even deeper into Morrible's influence. While the first film showcased her as the calculating figure behind several pivotal events, rumors suggest Wicked for Good expands her magical history. Some online discussions even speculate that Morrible's weather manipulation will play a larger role in the shifting dynamics of Oz, especially as the fractures between Elphaba and Glinda widen. Nothing is confirmed, but everything points toward Morrible becoming a central force in the storm that tears their world apart. And Michelle Yeoh's moment with Fallon suddenly feels far less random and far more like a tiny preview of what's coming. But the real shot came when Yeoh decided to tease something she absolutely knew would blow up across the internet. In her interview with People, she subtly dropped a hint and then immediately retreated from it like she realized she had let the secret slip out. With a mischievous smile, she said, "I think you're getting some new songs," before jokingly adding, "I didn't say that." It was the kind of playful denial that doesn't actually deny anything. Not long after, Stephen Schwartz, the composer behind the original Broadway soundtrack, confirmed it. 2 new songs were written specifically for the film, one for Elphaba, one for Glinda. And fans instantly started debating what these songs would sound like, what story beats they'd reveal, and how they would shape the emotional core of the sequel. But the real conversation growing online was even more interesting. Would Michelle Yeoh get a new song too? There's been no official confirmation, but the speculation hasn't stopped. Fans pointed out how often major screen adaptations expand the roles of beloved stage characters. Others noted how Yeoh's performance style naturally lends itself to a dramatic musical moment. Some threads even suggest she may get a short, intense vocal piece that ties directly into Morrible's magic, something ominous, atmospheric, and power-focused. Again, nothing is confirmed, but considering how carefully Yeoh tiptoed around the topic, people can't help but wondering whether she knows something the audience isn't supposed to learn yet. Even though Yeoh avoids revealing too much about new music, she's been extremely open about one thing: her love for the cast. After filming Wrapped, she stayed close with her co-stars, especially Cynthia Erivo. When she showed up to support Cynthia's performance at the Hollywood Bowl, it wasn't for press, promotion, or publicity. It was because the bond they formed throughout the intense production of the first film never really ended. And according to fans who attended the event, Yeoh blended right into the audience, cheering like a proud friend instead of a global superstar. That sense of closeness wasn't unique to Cynthia. Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Jeff Goldberg, the entire ensemble developed a rare chemistry that carried over long after cameras stopped rolling. Behind the scenes, several cast members have described late-night rehearsals, emotional breakdowns, and long conversations about the characters' journeys. The energy on set was described as family-like in interviews, with everyone rooting for each other as they pushed through the emotional weight of the story. That bond is a critical part of why fans are so invested in the sequel. The trailer alone sent viewers into a frenzy. Cynthia's voice, Ariana's transformation, the moody cinematography, the fractured friendship, every shot felt heavier, darker, and more emotionally raw than the first film. This time, the story isn't about discovering who the characters are, it's about what they've lost and what they're willing to fight for. Online theories exploded overnight. Some say the sequel will highlight the consequences of Morrible's political influence. Others believe we'll finally see the emotional breaking point that transforms her into a more threatening figure. A few even speculate that Morrible may shift alliances as Oz spirals toward its final conflict. None of this is confirmed, but the speculation is everywhere, and that's part of why anticipation is so intense. Michelle Yeoh herself has become the centerpiece of many of these theories. Fresh off an Oscar win, she's at the height of her career, and fans argue that the filmmakers wouldn't cast someone of her stature unless they were planning to give her character a real moment of impact. In threads across social platforms, people discuss her posture, her expressions, the quiet power she carries in interviews, and how these qualities translate into Morrible. The general consensus is that she brings something new, a layered, dignified, dangerous calmness that makes the character more unpredictable. One unverified rumor even claims the sequel includes a scene where Morrible unleashes a storm unlike anything seen in the first film. Some say it's tied to a betrayal, others say it's tied to a reveal. And while the details vary wildly, the theory resurfaces every few weeks because fans believe Yeoh's training, the gestures, the movements, the precision, were preparing her for something big. But the more you analyze the available clues, the clearer it becomes that the sequel's biggest reveals may not just be about magic or songs. They may be about what Morrible represents: power, control, the ability to shape narratives behind closed doors. In a world where every character is fighting to define their own story, Morrible operates in the shadows, influencing events without ever taking the spotlight. And Michelle Yeoh's performance seems to double down on that interpretation. By the time Wicked for Good arrives in theaters, fans will be looking for every detail they missed, every gesture, every line, every moment where Morrible's intentions slip through the cracks. Because if Michelle Yeoh is already comfortable demonstrating storm summoning technique on national television, imagine what she's hiding for the actual film. The magic she showed Jimmy Fallon was just a tiny preview, a harmless tease for a much bigger storm waiting on the horizon. And when that storm finally hits eyes, it won't just change the fate of the characters. It'll reshape everything fans thought they knew about Madame Morrible, Michelle Yeoh's interpretation, and the darker legacy that's been building in the shadows all along. One thing is certain: if she's bold enough to teach late-night hosts how to control the weather, there's no telling what she'll unleash when the sequel finally arrives.